We are live. We are live. Jeff Kravitz. Where is he? I'm in the purple. I'm in the purple. Hey everybody, welcome to 420 Live. Jeff Kravitz, your host with the most, here for another adventure down the rabbit hole. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We had perfect weather here in Los Angeles. The smoke is finally cleared out. Went to the beach. Worked on my skin cancer. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. I actually went for a swim in the ocean. Kids getting bit by stingrays. You have to be careful out there. You're taking your life in your hands. Surfboards, boogie boards. You got to be really careful out there in the ocean, especially when the waves are kicked up. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend, getting situated back into whatever your normal fall pattern is. Maybe you're still trying to extend your summer like me. Keep that tan going. Whatever it is, I hope you're all staying healthy, staying clean during this pandemic. Last week, we had one of the most diverse weeks I've had yet, I think, on the show, from everywhere from the virtual world, the Burning Man virtual world, and down to Jamaica. We were, and then finished the week on such a strong note with Noel Kassler. The show on Friday was my top watched show. Over 20,000 some odd people tuned in to watch the Trump bashing. What can I say? I didn't realize that, this is what people want more of. So forget music, entertainment. I think it's time to get into the Trump bashing. And it's so easy, though. And I hate to, I love being a source of distraction for you all. And that's kind of been my raison d'etre for all these years or all these months. This feels like years. For these decades that we've been in this pandemic, coming to you, it's kind of crazy, absolutely crazy to be here that long. Yes, Matt, 20-something thousand. My Twitter exploded with the Noel Kassler show. I was blown away because when I'm watching, I can see people viewing, but not everything lines up together. And then I just started to watch that show go viral. And that's what happens when you have a guest like a Noel who's plugged into that Twitterverse where he's just every day, like he is bashing Trump every 15 minutes. He's got another tweet coming out. They're funny, they're poignant, and he's right on the money. But, who's listening? We see what's happening now, the battle that's happening in our Senate for control of the Supreme Court. Maybe the experiment, America, the democracy, is kind of finished. I mean, we could be seeing the end of this whole experiment, this whole democracy. 200 years is a long time. We've had a great run. Maybe we need to give it up to a little dictatorship here. Maybe we need people. Obviously, people want people to tell them what to do and what to think and, what to do with their bodies and what to do with their minds and, what you can do and what you can believe. And they want this society that's based on skin color and division. And, I think that obviously this is the new America. We're not these embrace of give us you're poor, you're hungry, you're tired. We've become this total place of conflict, or at least that's what they want you to believe. If you don't watch the news, if you don't tune in, if you stay distracted, you would never even know this is going on because you just walk outside and the sun's up and it's another day and you have to figure out what to eat and what to drink and how much to drink and how much to eat so you don't blow up or kill yourself by stopping your heart with too much partying. You have to figure out yourself the balance, and you also have to figure out how much of this, how much of this nonsense you can let in on a daily basis. I know we all need to be very diligent right now. The one thing that I keep harping on is head count. And I got to tell you a funny story of what happened to me last night before we get to our guest. Kiki came in and told me that one of the people I work with was on Instagram and said that they got purged and didn't realize that they got purged. But they went in through head count to check out their voter registration and realized that they weren't registered and re-registered. So Kiki checked out hers and she was registered, and I checked out mine and I was purged. So I went on to the Global Citizens site and I picked the Lenny Kravitz meet and greet, virtual meet and greet. And because you can select certain premiums of what you want, just for checking out your voter registration. Went and checked my voter registration. Sure enough, wasn't registered, and I signed up there on the spot. I signed up to vote in Kentucky, so I'll be coming to you For you, Mitch McConnell. No, just kidding. I signed up right here in California, the great state of California. And I suggest, no matter if you voted in the primary, when the last time you think you voted, get on headcount, go into this Global Citizens campaign, sign up for the Billie Eilish or the Bob Weir guitar, or there's so many different things you can get in there to check your voter registration. And you might be surprised that you got purged too. I obviously Trump's pointing people out. Purge Kravitz. All right, get him out of there. We don't want him voting. I'm in California, so it really doesn't matter how I vote. I vote blue, though, and I am supporting Joe Biden. That's one thing Noel Castler and I talked about, was defining and saying who you're voting for. I want to hear it out of your mouth. So thank you, everybody that tuned in, and thanks for making me go viral, Noel Castler. I mean, I never thought I had it in me, but what did I know? A lot of things you learn. And, I've met a lot of very cool people. People have reached out to me. I've reached out to different people over the months that I've been coming here. And today I wanted to have a show to cross some people off my list, but I also reached out to my first guest, Joshua Ginger Monroe, because his art is astounding and it's right on the money when it comes to Trump. And if you haven't seen Josh's art, I'll just show you the backside. And this is much better than my face, by the way. And here's the front side. This statue, I'm sure you guys recognize the statue, but these were the Trump statues that were placed all around town. And let's say hi to Joshua. Hey, Joshua, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
So, when we first met, the reason we first met, I'll just give people a little backstory, was I was at the Roger Waters when he played Desert Trip. Yeah. And I noticed that they had used Joshua's statue inside some of the visuals during the Roger Waters set. So after I'd seen it, I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you know that they're using your stuff? And he had no idea. And I actually connected him. I reached out to the promoter, and the promoter connected me. I was like, do you care about this? And he was like, yeah, let us talk to him. So what ended up happening with that?
Well, they reached out to me, gave me some backstage passes. I got to go see the show, and that was about the end of it. When I was going to talk to the promoter, he made eye contact with me and kind of skedaddled as quick as possible. But I'm okay with that. I get to say Roger Waters used my artwork. That was one thing that actually, one time in my life, that made my father really, really proud. He actually brought a tear to his eye. So that was a great moment.
Yeah, because Roger Waters is very outspoken, and he got a lot of shit at that show, the Desert Trip show, because he had come out with those images and a lot more images too. It was relentless what he was posting up there, and you have to be proud to see your art on a stage like that, and also have that footage now in your book, I'm sure, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very grateful. Thank you for reaching out to me and let me know about that.
Nope, no problem. As a guy who gets plagiarized and ripped off all the time, whenever I see something like that, I'm like, oh, I hope that guy's getting paid, because that art is so good. Talk about how you came up with this piece, the Trump.
Well, I live in Las Vegas, and the reason I live out here is because I was the director of a show on the Strip. It was a year-round haunted house called Eli Roth's Goratorium, and I was almost on a TV show called Face Off, where they, do the special effects, and I was almost on season 4. So I was known for doing monsters and making, masks, props, things like that. After the Goratorium closed, I stayed in Vegas and made connections with other local artists. And it was through these connections that a group called In Decline reached out to me. They were looking for somebody who could sculpt just a naked Trump statue. They really didn't have much of a guideline or anything like that. They just, had certain criteria. He had to be naked. He had to have no balls and, a little schlong.
I like that criteria. Let's see.
Yeah. So I designed the original statue and made 5 copies of it, and those 5 copies we put up in New York, Cleveland, LA, San Francisco, and Seattle, all at the same exact time on August 18th, which was really cool because we did a promo video, a making of video that we did with the press release, and we sampled Jimi Hendrix's Star Spangled Banner. And just because of time restraints and everything, ended up being the 18th was the day we put it out. Well, that was the anniversary of when Hendrix played that at Woodstock. So it was a neat little, universal sign that everything was meant to be.
And what happened to the statues?
Oh, the one in New York, which got the most media play, was famously ripped down on camera. And then the New York City Parks Department put out a statement saying that they don't condone any illegal erections, no matter how small. And the Cleveland one was confiscated by the police in like 25 minutes, not even. And but they released it to me for impound fees, and we auctioned it off to charity to actually help local street artists in Cleveland. The LA statue was rescued by the store Wacko and then auctioned off twice. The last time purchased by Zach Baggins, and he has a haunted museum here in Las Vegas. And he had it up there for a while, but he got too much crap. People wanting refunds because they were offended. So he keeps it in a back storage room. San Francisco was confiscated by the police, and I was almost charged with a felony. San Francisco, the most liberal of all the cities we put up in, wanted to charge me with a felony for destruction of public property. But then when they realized I couldn't have been in 5 states at the same time and doing all the stuff, they're okay. Well, you didn't technically commit a crime, so that one just kind of disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to it. I personally think some bureaucrat in San Francisco has it sitting in their front foyer, and they keep their keys on his little pecker. The Seattle one was rescued by a place called No Parking on Pike Street, and they keep it on display. And there's actually, I believe last time I heard, there's like tour bus tours that go up there to check it out because it's become a bit of an attraction.
Well, the guerrilla art. So talk about Decline, because that's someone you're still working with, correct?
No.
Oh.
No, in Decline, I try not to say anything bad, but we just had a bit of a falling out. They actually, talking about being plagiarized and, having your stuff ripped off. They stole 3 statues from me, never paid me, and then had another artist make a mold of the statues. And they've been selling the knockoffs. They sanded off my name off the base, and kind of what you come to expect from the guys who did bumfights.com. So, I'm not upset about it, because at the end of the day, everybody knows I'm the artist who made it, and they're still perpetuating my art. So
you're with a new group now? Or you have your own? What are you doing?
No, I just do my own independent art. Sometimes I'll do my own pieces here. I do collaborate with this other artist named Plastic Jesus. He did the Stop Making Stupid People Famous, if you've ever seen that. We've done a couple. Yeah, we've done a couple of Golden Oscar statues. There's actually a documentary of us making that one. That's the Harvey Weinstein casting couch. The documentary is on Amazon Prime. It's called For Your Consideration. It's a really well done piece. We also did a crucified Kanye West. Yeah, there you go. We did a Kevin Hart piece, and we're actually collaborating right now on a piece that's not an Oscar statue. It's kind of a hush-hush project. We're not going to give too much, but it's, like Janis Joplin would say, it's got a lot of political import. So
it's something you're planning to get out before the election?
Oh, it's definitely, we're hoping for a bit of an October surprise. Yeah. But it's got to be before.
It's good. Well, I can see some smokable inspiration there behind you on the shelf. What's going on in your kitchen?
Yeah, I've got some tasty things behind me. Oh,
is that a week supply? 1 week or 2 week supply?
That's a good weekend right there. So, I'm a big supporter, advocate of the cannabis industry, and actually I do heating and air conditioning here in Vegas. So I've done a lot of systems for the grow facilities and stuff, and made a lot of connections with people in the industry. So always, God, I've been smoking for about 25 years now.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been smoking for 40. Oh my God, that's crazy. And I'm still not high.
Yeah.
So you got this project coming up. What you work in heating, air conditioning? You have other art that you're doing too?
Yeah, I actually literally I did this interview. I got on with a guy. We're going to do a couple horror movies together. We're collaborating on some scripts, and one slasher film, one kind of a creature feature. You know, it's monsters, horror. It's always my go-to. Halloween, haunted houses, anything with Halloween, it's my bag.
Right. You're breaking up a tiny little bit there. Well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen at Halloween this year?
Sorry. I don't know. I think they're talking about opening up schools and letting kids go trick or treating and stuff. So I've got kids, so I'm probably going to be with my little ones. I have the oratorium closed, kind of been jaded with the whole thing. So I tend to do my own thing. I don't work for any haunted houses anymore. If I ever did, I would like to start my own one day, but that's down the road.
How's business in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I moved out here, like I said, back in 2012, and I love Las Vegas. It's been a really good city to me. Even though I'm a pale-skinned ginger, I need the sunshine, so this is a good place.
And how's business and how's the city right now dealing with the COVID?
Oh, that's a touchy subject. It's really weird. Normally, this is one of the biggest tourist places in the world. That tourism has gone down by I think 70%. I heard. A lot of people are the employed stagehands. Anybody in the performing arts, they're all just sitting on their hands and not getting any employment anymore. So it's tough. It's scary. I was talking to somebody who owns the Repertory Majestic Theater out here, and he's trying to write a grant just to keep his doors open because he can't even put on any of the shows that normally help keep the bills paid.
Well, when are they saying they're going to alleviate some of do they have indoor dining yet, or is that still not a thing?
Oh yeah, no, we've got there's multiple places. They keep it I think 25% capacity. Not as many of the regular restaurants. The buffets, which everybody comes to Vegas for the buffets. I haven't heard anything about those. I heard a lot of them are actually shutting down. Yeah, they're closed at the moment. So it's not what it used to be. Vegas is definitely going to have to roll with the punches. It's not going to be the same city it was before COVID.
Well, it's impossible if you can't party all night long. It's kind of like what's happening in New York City, all the nightlife, everything at night, all the shows, until that comes back on and we get back to some sense of normalcy,
Mm-hmm.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, this is, one of they call it the entertainment capital of the world. And, these people, there's nobody to entertain. There's no shows to entertain people at the moment. I think, what is it, Ka or Le Rev, one of those two just permanently closed their doors, which pisses me off because I didn't get to see that one yet. So
yeah, Cirque du Soleil as a brand is having a real hard time right now. All these brands. I mean, it's just we're at a really difficult place. And I don't know, that this is the fallout from COVID. And, this is the stuff that's really interesting to watch the stock market boom while you realize in industry towns that pulled billions of dollars through it are dying. They're like, you can't do convention business in Las Vegas, and that's one of the lifebloods there. But other places in the States are opening that kind of stuff up. So it's a real struggle. We're all dealing with it. I mean, as an artist, are you finding inspiration now?
Being an artist, there's a lot of inspiration around. I said back when Trump first started all this BS that if anything, it would cause a revolution or a renaissance in art because it's just going to inspire so many people and just light a fire in so many people's souls. And as you can see, art is not affected by what's going on anywhere else. If anything, it's thriving because of it. I see a lot of great pieces going up. I've personally been inspired. I've got, I actually have taken one of the naked Trump statues, just the front half, and I'm working on just a fun little project where it's like naked Trump frozen in carbonite, like Han Solo from Star Wars. So I'm making the carbonite containment system and everything, and it looks pretty neat. But it's just a little passion project, so I haven't put much time or anything into it. But you'll probably see pictures on Instagram here pretty soon.
All right. Well, here's a $64,000 question. Who you voting for?
Biden.
All right.
Yeah, like there's any question. And my God.
Well, there is. People are questioning. I've never seen it before, but they're questioning this.
It's funny with my stance and everybody knowing, my feelings on Trump. I always get harassed about it, and I've actually been threatened about it and stuff like that. I can't see anybody standing behind Trump. I can't see the logic behind wanting that man as president. What the proof is in the pudding. Look what he's done for the last 4 years. Look at the state of the country, and he wants to blame Biden, or he wants to blame Obama for it. And it's like, sorry, Chief, this is your country. This is the chaos that you've stirred. So who would want this for another 4 years? You got to be insane.
Yeah, I totally agree. But there are people out there. There's 36% that he's playing to that want more. They like it. You know what it is? Yeah. I think the hard part is that people don't want to be wrong. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. It is like that you've supported this guy. He's your guy. It's kind of like when you pick a sports team. And I said this the other day when I was talking to Noel, that it's kind of become a sports team kind of thing. And you support your team when it sucks, and you support your team when it's winning, but you're on the team, that's your team. And I think that a lot of this analogy of sports is getting into our politics now, unfortunately. And that's kind of thing. People are team Trump and they don't want to admit that they might be wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't people changing and it isn't impossible, but his 36%, it really doesn't matter what he does because he's done abominable things, as you've seen, as your art reflects. Let's do just a quick refresher here on the art of our friend Joshua Ginger Monroe here. This whole concept of the penis is more like a doorbell. Yeah,
it was kind of an enlarged. That was such a weird sculpture to do because there was no testicles, and like, what the fuck kind of reference material am I going to get for this? So I just a lot of female bodybuilders, and then the butt was kind of modeled after Hank Hill, which I was completely wrong on. He's got a huge fat ass. After becoming president and all those golfing photos, you really get a lot more reference material. When I was sculpting this, the reference material on him was nothing flattering photos and, the good angles where he's leaning over and, doing that weird gesture thing he does.
Absolutely. Brilliant. And the Kanye Jesus. Was the Oscar snorting blow? Was that you or was that somebody else?
Well, that was Plastic Jesus.
That was before Jesus.
Yeah, he did the one on all fours snorting cocaine, and he did a female Oscar on a stripper pole, and he also did the one that started it off the year that Philip Seymour Hoffman died of a heroin overdose. He did an Oscar statue shooting up heroin, and that was kind of the one that kicked it off. And I thought the guy was a genius before I even got to meet him because I knew his art. And when the Trump statue was selling at Julian's in LA, he came to the auction just to meet me. He's like, we've got to collaborate on this piece. Were you willing? I was like, oh God, yes, this is right up my alley. And, that's where we did the Kanye, and, we've been collaborating ever since.
And beautiful. And the Harvey Weinstein, and just really great shit. Thank you, Josh. And this is Josh's Instagram. You want to reach out to Josh. I know do you sell the little mini Trumps? Are you selling the little statues?
Yeah, I sell bobbleheads. Kind of got ripped off by Alibaba, so we had to close down our website, and we're trying to revamp that. But yeah, the naked Trump bobbleheads was something that I was selling.
All right, well, get on it because we want that shit out there, and I can't wait to see your next piece of art, dude. We'll have you on when that comes out. All right.
Yeah, a couple more weeks. I'll let you know.
And I'll be over for some of that tasty shit been behind you. Okay.
Let me know next time you're in Vegas, buddy. I think I have enough.
I think you can handle me. All right. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Take it easy. All right. Joshua Monroe. And we're going to go in and talk to our friend, photographer. Oh, wait. Hold on. There she is. Jessica Delfino. You ready? Are you ready, Jess?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm having a little hard time hearing you, but let me turn up my end. Say hi.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Is your phone? Is that your phone? Because it might be rest. Is you using your phone or your laptop? All right, will you work on that? I'm going to talk to Mark Doyle, see if you can get your levels up. If you go back to the audio screen when you first check in, or down below it says camera and mic, go in there and just try to make and turn those levels up down there on the bottom. and I'll be back to you in a second. All right. All right. We got a show, rollicking show today. Mark Doyle, photographer extraordinaire. Mark,
what's going on?
How are you doing? Your levels are fine.
All right, good. Got a professional setup here.
I know. How's it going, my man?
Good, hanging in there, man. New York City. It's been fun. It's been an interesting 6-7 months.
Have you been there the whole time?
Yeah. I grew up here and live in Brooklyn and born and raised in Brooklyn. So this is where I'm at.
And what's going on there? I heard Brooklyn's going. People are out on the streets, and it's a lot of fun at night, and it's got like a vibe.
Yeah, it's coming back a little bit. It was pretty scary there for a while. I was out. I hadn't done any photography like a lot of us for a number of months, and then they started doing there was a lot of protests going on, and then there was a couple of organizations like the We Make events and NIVA and stuff. They were doing some events to try and get Congress to pass, the extended pandemic insurance. So I was out in the city for the first time in about 5 months, shooting, for them and just doing some stuff, just to give them to park on their website. And it was scary. It was a scary, time in because Broadway's all shut down. So it was scary around Times Square. It's just sort of like it was back in the late 70s and the 80s and, even in early 90s. But it's starting to come back a little bit now. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, I heard that violent crime and shooting deaths are up in the city, and it's just a really hard place right now because people are probably struggling, and I don't think how much control are they having there. I guess you guys are now an anarchistic state.
Yeah, I heard about that today. Yeah. Well,
congratulations, by the way. That's a badge I would wear with honor.
Well, we're one of the biggest cities, in the world, and you just can't let us go. So, but they're going to try. So
it's unbelievable to me that you would attack the heart of America. I mean, New York City is the heartbeat of America, and for Trump to go after it like he is, and especially being a New Yorker himself.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that we're not privy to. Obviously, it's just too much with the personalities and the politics and, the fighting between Cuomo and Trump and de Blasio and all this stuff. And, we're not privy to a lot of it, but, we obviously hear what Trump says. So we have to take that, with a grain of salt sometimes.
Yeah, but it also has to be insulting to have grown up there your whole life and hear somebody that made his money on that city shit all over it all the time and to see this side of this human being. I mean, Yeah, I mean,
it's sort of personal politics, right? It's not like rather than doing the right thing for the people, he seems to be punishing people he holds grudges with, and he's done that for many, many years. I remember, listening to him on Howard Stern on a regular basis, and he would, come on and he would be fighting with Rosie O'Donnell for months and months and months on end and saying a lot of bad things about her. And then eventually, there was an apology somewhere along the lines, and then all of a sudden they became, friends again. So, and then, but then she would say something again, and then they're fighting again. So it's just weird.
What? It's like high school.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing about it. It's like freaking high school. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. It's like, someone who has an ego that big and is just damaged just by a couple of things people say. I mean, it's pretty unusual. You have to have thick skin, I think, and you have to have thick skin to be the president. And
I agree. I mean, to me, it amazes me that Obama never responded once to a tweet, and you see what Trump does. Anyway, how are you surviving during this time? Because I know us photographers were taking a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, I had been getting the pandemic unemployment insurance since the gig workers were able to get that. I was able to get that and was doing some freelance work. I was also doing some marketing work. I used to work in post-production for 10 years. So I was able to do some work with some of my old colleagues in post-production and just doing some marketing stuff for them. So that was paying a little bit of my bills there. With the unemployment insurance, that was helping. And then I started selling a lot of stuff on eBay. I started selling a lot of my photography and my prints, and was doing some photo restoration work for some people. And, so a little bit of that kind of stuff was sort of helping me pay the bills. And then through that process, I was working on a screenplay that I just finished. So, I figured, let me just keep the creative juices flowing while, not a lot was going on outside. So that was really what I was doing. But there was no event. I mean, there was nothing to shoot.
Oh, hey, it's done. I don't know what it's happening. That's why I was like, you want to talk? And I was like, that I'm down on the photo industry, right? Not that I'm down on it. I just see the reality of what the situation is. Until things are up, until people are congregating. Look at this photo behind me. Hold on. I'm gonna go to the wide shot. But look at this picture right here. I mean, of all the people in the crowd. I mean, these are the things we're missing, the congregating, and these were the places that we worked.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, there's one on this side behind me right there, like at the King's Theater I shot, it was, I think it was at the Ghost Show. And I just turned around and, saw all these metalheads, like just, putting the horns up and everything. And, seeing how many people were in the venue, it was a time. I can't even believe that, that we're not even remotely close to even getting there. And who knows?
No. You're not going to get that kind of proximity and energy again for years. I don't know when it's going to be that we're going to be 100% in venues, but this is kind of ridiculous. I just heard about shows at Red Rocks, which seats 9,000, where they're going to sell 175 tickets.
That's crazy. And they're doing a lot of these drive-in things too. And I've been seeing
even a drive-in, it's by car, and it's a band that would normally play for 10,000 people or 6,000 people, and you fit 800 cars in or 1,000 cars in. I mean, it's a difference. We're in the upside down. But I'm glad you came on. I was great. It's nice to catch up with you. I just want to give your website here another tout. You're selling prints and doing everything all of us photographers are trying to do right now to make a living. And you got some great work. I checked out your stuff.
Thank
Fire
you.
Photography up there. So
thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, and you just do what you can. You just got to hang in there. Best you can.
Well, keep on doing it, Mark. Thanks for coming on today, and good luck to you out there.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Take care. There you go, Mark Doyle. You're following along at home. I don't want to get confusing, but we have a musical interlude. Jessica, you ready for me now? Let's hear. You got the earplugs in?
I think I got it working out.
Oh, it sounds great.
Yeah? Okay,
you
good.
Look good.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm good. I'm quarantining with a toddler, so that's been a lot of fun. He's my child. He's not just a random toddler.
Well, that's good. You just weren't picking up random toddlers.
No, no. Only enough room in my house for one toddler right now. Max,
we're
at our max toddler.
New York City, right?
Yeah, I split my time between New York and Pennsylvania. So I'm actually in Pennsylvania right now.
And you're singer-songwriter, comedian.
That's what I write on my Twitter profile.
But really, you're a mom, right?
I'm mostly a mom these days. Yeah, I mean, and also, as you were just talking about, I mean, a lot of comedy and performing happens on a stage, which I haven't been near in a long time. Actually, even before COVID happened, I admit it's been a while. It takes a lot of effort and planning and organization for me to be able to get out of the house to the stage in the first place. And then you add a pandemic, and it's been pretty hard to get to the stage these days.
But you're still inspired, right? Because
absolutely.
Talk about your song and how you came to write it.
I actually really have enjoyed wearing a mask in a lot of ways when I have to go out in public, because it covers this half of my face, and it covers personal flaws and things that I like to be able to cover up. And also, people can't see what I'm kind of like. I mean, they can see in the eyes, but like I could be like, and they have no idea what's going on down here. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, so I wrote a song about that for this compilation that my friends and I put together. It's called.
Let's check it out.
Okay, let's check it out.
Really clever.
Okay. This is 19 viral hits.
Oh, sorry. Duh.
I hate COVID like had to ask, but I really, really, really like wearing a mask. Covers up pimples, not a bad style. It's been a while since the guys told me that I should smile. Saved a fortune on lipstick and slims up on faces. I've been able to put off getting adult braces. Wearing one is easy and there's no denying it. It's simple, I can keep so many grandmas from dying. I like my mask.
I like my mask.
I It's cool to keep it on.
Sketchy, right? It's fun.
I love it.
I like my mask. I'm thinking I'll keep wearing one after this virus is gone. I like my mask. I like my mask. I can see who's cool by taking a look.
You just look around and you can see who's on your side.
I like my mask.
I want to run the beginning back again because
I
it,
hate COVID like had to ask, but I really, really, really like wearing a mask. Covers up pimples, not a bad style. It's been a while since the guys told me that I should smile. Saved a fortune on lipstick, it slims up all faces. I've been able to put off getting adult braces. Wearing one is easy and there's no denying it. It's a simple act to keep so many grandmas from dying. I like my
you know, it really, really catchy, which I
Thank
think is
you.
the most important part of the song is that it's catchy and really funny lyrics. And,
Thank you.
And all stuff I think about. But the one thing you don't touch on is how bad your freaking breath is. And you don't even realize it until you wear a mask and you're like, I didn't even really eat today. And I brushed my teeth 2 hours ago. And why does my breath smell like butt?
It's another benefit to wearing a mask. You know, it's like it not only does it keep the COVID particles away from people's eyeballs, but it keeps your horrible breath away from their noses. So that's pretty sweet. I didn't even think about that. That's a great side benefit, side bonus.
It is a side bonus. You're welcome to the lyric if you want to squeeze it in
Thank
there.
you. Yeah, my friends and I made this album together, and we submitted it for the Grammy consideration, FYC, for your consideration, and it's got 9 songs on it. It says 19 because it was kind of a play on COVID-19, but there's
Gotcha.
actually only 9 songs on it. So I recorded it at home. Most of us, we all did. We all recorded our songs at home because that's what we're doing these days. We're recording at home. So I'm actually pretty happy and proud of my layered background harmonizing. So
You start impressing yourself with your skills on the computer, don't you? You're like,
I
"Oh,
mean, I'm just saying for me doing it at home by myself, I mean, it didn't turn out too bad.
that's great. So how long have you been doing the music comedy
Oh,
thing?
gee. I started right before 9/11, basically. Really good timing. I moved to New York City right before 9/11 and started there in 2001, and I've been doing it since then. So, and I've been doing, that pretty much as my primary thing since 01. So it's been a lot of fun and very weird, and I've gotten to travel all over and perform and now I'm a mom, and babies and touring they don't work well together. I wish they did. Someone should probably get entrepreneurial about that.
You could have a teenager by the time touring gets back.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Once he gets a little older, it might be fun to bring him with me, but it's going to be a while. Probably.
Do you usually play comedy clubs? What's usually your venues?
Well, because I do music, I can do comedy and music. And so comedy clubs, but also music venues, but also a lot of variety shows, libraries. I've played at like corporate places, just all kind of over the board, which has been nice. It gives me a lot of flexibility. And I started a festival in 2012 called the NY Comedy Music Festival. So annually, we also have a comedy music festival, and it's all comedy musicians, about like 100, give or take. And it's really fun and really weird. And if you remember Dr. Demento at all and that style of music, and as a matter of fact, a lot of the performers in the festival even now are played on his show because he's still going, which is pretty awesome.
How old is he now?
I think he's in his 60s. I met him a couple of years ago when I was out in LA, and he was a great host. I went and picked him up at his house and took him to Panera Bread, and we had a really nice lunch out at his house near his place, and I bought him some soup, and it was one of the highlights of my career so far.
Dr. Demento, for the people out there that might not have heard that name before, because it's a very unique name, and this is going back a little bit. He had a syndicated radio show that would play across the nation, and it was once a week, right? And he would
just the weirdest music that you could get your hands on, and it was at the time it was really novel. because there's
Right.
that word, novel. It was just really unique, you know, because you couldn't hear that music on the radio or on the internet. The internet didn't exist.
Right. There was nowhere to find that stuff. It would be like fish heads, roly poly fish heads. That was one of the classic Dr.
Yeah.
Demento songs.
Wet dream. Did you ever have a wet dream? Yeah, there was, you know, I think They Might Be Giants probably made it on there a couple times. Weird Al Yankovic.
Right. With this,
I heard
Weird Al kind of cut his teeth there, right?
Yeah, he sort of like was the big star that probably came out of that show. Yeah. And so, yeah. And also, let's see, I remember hearing a Yoko Ono song on there. I mean, my dad listened to the show, so that's how I found out about it. I remember being 5 and like, you know, sneaking up late to listen, you know, while they played cards downstairs, and I sat at the top of the stairs and just kind of listened and was like, what are they listening to? What is I love it, whatever it is. But
so what's happening with the festival this year?
Nothing. We were actually kind of in the planning stages when all this stuff started happening. So we didn't even get a chance to, you know, get moving with it this year. So it'll be on hiatus, and we'll pick it up hopefully next year. You know, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a perfect thing for a virtual festival.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it really could be. And with Zoom and all the other online options, I'm actually, I have a book coming out. It's called Dumb Jokes for Smart Folks. It's coming out on Humorous Publications. And I'm planning on doing a 50-state virtual tour.
Oh.
So that's what I'm working on right now. And I think that'll be pretty fun, you know, so we'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, then the festival will be, you know, an easy thing to plan after I do that.
Wow. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And I want to thank our friend Michael McHugh for introducing us.
Yes. Thanks, Michael.
And he's on there too. He's got the what's it called? Pandemic Yuppies or?
Yeah. Yep. He's on there. Also Sela Victor. Is that her? I don't know how to say her name. Is Sela? She is a animation voiceover star, and Anthony Kapfer is a really funny comedian out of Denver. Adam Blotnick has been in the Comedy Music Festival every year, I think, since it started. Who else? Now I'm embarrassed. Noah Maz Band has been in the festival since it started. Just a lot of comedians, you know, musical comedians who Gabby Gold there's only 3 women, 6 guys, you know, that's always how it is. But and so yeah, it's a really fun crew, and I'm really psyched that we were able to get it out and in time to be considered, you know, for this year's FYC for the Grammy nomination and whatnot. And I think it's the most unique album, I'm sure, in the Grammys. One of the most ones this year.
I don't know if that gets you a Grammy though.
No. What do you mean?
Being most unique.
No, but I think it will stand out
might.
when people are going through the titles and, you know, looking at the options. I think it'll stand out. I hope so. I hope it'll stand out.
Good luck. We do have some Grammy voters that tune in. So
good. Okay.
Voters, there you go. planetapartment.bandcamp.com. Check it out. 19 viral hits. Jessica Delfino, thank you. Really nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for this. It's been really fun. It's been great to not have to. I actually snuck out of putting my son to bed tonight to do this. So thank you for the excuse.
There you go. Well, enjoy it. Hit that wine and have a good, nice, relaxing night.
All right, we'll do.
Take care. Stay safe. All right. Whew, what a show. We're banging through it. My head is spinning, absolutely spinning. Photographer, artist, musician, and now we're going to talk to Jack Abramson, aka Bacon Man. He does musical reviews. He's got a YouTube channel. This is a first-class character right here. Hello.
I love my mask.
Catchy.
It's catchy. I love it, Jessica. It's catchy. I could go on all day about masks. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. That was not
Thanks
a bad song, right?
It's very catchy. I don't believe I do believe it. I mean, it's a viral video, and I never seen it. And there's a problem out there, Jeff, where stuff is not getting to me that I should be seeing.
That was just a song. There's no video attached.
Gotcha.
But I think that she definitely needs to do a little video for that, and it would go bonkers because
for sure.
And it's just funny what she's singing about, like all the, you know, not having to wear lipstick and not having to get your braces on, and, you know, telling people to screw off behind there. It's been a thing. So where does the Bacon Man come from, Jack?
Well, it's an interesting story. It started out, I was a office Halloween party, and I won a prize, and it was absolutely fantastic. I saw something there, and then about a year later, I went to the One Big Holiday event out in Punta Cana for My Morning Jacket. They had it was a superhero theme night, and I said I was going to be Bacon Man. I wore this. I actually have the strip. The suit's new. I got that for Father's Day last year, but I wore the strip. I stayed in character the whole time, and it was like I was doing it all along. It was just something just clicked, and I'm Jewish, kosher bacon, kind of sounded right to me. So
you became the Jewish bacon.
I'm the kosher bacon man. That's right. Vegan alternatives are always available as well. Yeah. But,
I've had many different kinds of funky bacon over the years, turkey bacon and vegan bacon, and but there's nothing like the real thing. Do you eat the real thing?
Absolutely, 100%. So
you're a bacon fan as well as the Bacon Man.
I'm a bacon fan. I'm the Bacon Man. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a crazy bacon fan. There's some bacon mania that goes on around the world. I mean, there's a lot of people that really love bacon. I wouldn't say that I love bacon that much, even though it looks like I do. It was just something. It was kind of like Fishman with his dress. He wore it a couple of nights and then he couldn't get out of it. They wouldn't let him. So
yeah,
I've been running with it.
Oh wait, I want to show you a review here. You ready?
Sure.
Closes shows and festivals with First Tube.
Can you hear that?
Balls to the walls energy to cap an amazing.
I think that's the end of it.
Here we are at the end of burning this album down with a barn burner outing of First Tube to give us one last, oh man, I miss being on tour feeling. And it's Trey Band for the win. So that's my thoughts on this awesome new live tab album. 8 out of 10 bacon strips for me, an extra one going to Trey for his recent quarantine album, and another for Vance for killing it on the mix once again, which brings it to a perfect 10 out of 10. I'm Jack Abramson, the Bacon Man. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Wash your hands and don't forget to floss.
I love it, Jack.
Thanks.
How did you get into the music reviews?
Well, I mean, I've been going to see Fish since '95, a long time now, and the traditional way of reviewing, I do more of like run recaps. It's too much for me to do every night, but when Fish is on the road, I do something where it's like I make an all-star team of the run of the like 2-3 night run. And, deliver it and have some fun with it and, hit it into the parking lot and have a real good time. And, best band in the world moves me more than any other band out there. And I think they deserve some kind of spectacle, not just, someone getting up there and reading off the set list. And that's pretty much what I saw with reviews before I, kind of jumped in. And I'm just out there to have fun and try to give back to the community. I try to add that in as much as I can as well. To give back, but I love Fish more than not more than my kids. I wasn't going to say that, but I love Fish a lot.
More than chocolate?
What's that?
You love him more than chocolate?
I love it. I absolutely love him more. I love him more than bacon, my man.
You love Fish more than bacon?
I love Fish more than bacon. Although the highlight for me was, I'm drawing a blank. I think it was the 29th when they did the alumni bacon blues, and they put in that it was a National Bacon Day. And the worst part of it was I was there, I was trying to hang with my friends, and, security was being all aggro and knocking us around and such. And I'm sad to say that I actually missed the line live, and I had some buddies going crazy after the show, like, it's your day. I was like, I didn't know what they were talking about. So, but for me, that was definitely a highlight.
Well, dressed as a strip of bacon, you tend to stand out in the crowd.
You do. And I'm actually a shy guy in real life. So it allows me to kind of come out of my shell and just be somebody else for a while. I love it.
And this has been something you've been doing way before COVID then, right?
Yes, it is about, I'd say about the third year I've been doing it. I started out doing like mashup videos. I don't know. I guess the most popular one, it was a Seinfeld cast that I put Dance in a Tweezer. And, I started doing that with Grateful Dead videos. And, it's just, I just like to put a smile on people's faces, especially right now. And, if I can find a way to merge music and comedy and my love for people, then, I'm just a happy guy.
So what's the funniest thing someone said to you on the scene?
What's the funniest? Sorry, I lost you.
The funniest thing that someone said to you when you were walking around dressed as a piece of bacon?
You know what is funny? The funnier things are actually the meaner things. I had a dude once come up to me and say, I've been given a lot of trouble on Reddit, especially. That's a whole new topic. We could talk about trolling on the internet, which is ridiculous. But I had one guy come up to me after the Chicago show, grab me and say, Bacon Man, I'm one of the guys that gave you shit on Reddit. I love you. Gave me a big hug. And then this douchebag jumped into a freaking stretched Hummer limousine and took off. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
So you get a lot of shit, huh? You getting bullied around?
There's just something going on that, could you imagine you see somebody on lot with a poster say that, you don't care for. And would you ever walk up, and I'm not taking you, I'm saying even a troll online, they wouldn't walk up to that guy and tell him he sucks and he should just give up or go kill himself. They just keep walking. There's something when you get online, Jeff, that it's just like something comes out, and we're taught to take the high road, don't stand up to bullies and they'll go away. And honestly, that just does not work on the internet. I find that if you just tell them, to bug off and go back to their troll hole, they usually go away pretty quickly. But it's a big problem. And it's stopping a lot of, like really good artists out there from, sharing their stuff and, being kind of free to just go out and do what they want to do.
Yeah, well, people aren't nice right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. I would think we would be more inclusive and more accepting of people that are dressed as bacon, especially.
You would think, right? I mean, geez, what's this world coming to, Jeff? Did you listen to the Tab album?
Yeah, I freaking love it. I saw
Unbelievable, right?
I agree entirely. I listen to it almost every day. I check out the new Trey record, and just because I was at the New Orleans show. Were you at either of those shows, New Orleans or Portchester?
I was not. No, I was not. I wasn't.
Yeah, I was
up in Toronto now, so I saw them in Toronto when they were around.
Those 3 nights after in New Orleans were kind of special because it was kind of tied in with the Atlanta show he had done for his friend Chris that had just died, and it was just really a special time. I mean, and Trey was on fuego. I mean, he was just hitting the stage every night and laying it all out there. And I was just like, wow, I was really blown away from that tour. So I'm really glad they picked that record. And yes, I love firing Trey Band. I heard your review talking about Sand, how you love Sand more when Trey Band plays it. And yes, but I also love when Fish plays Sand too. I mean,
100%.
It's just like, you listen, 4 guys on stage, when they're moving through the groove and they're feeding off each other, is much easier to feed off of and turn into some kind of monster. Because when you have 8 people on stage, it's like trying to turn a 18-wheeler, right? And when you got 4 guys on stage, like driving a Maserati. And that's how I kind of feel it is, even with the Grateful Dead, when they cut out Mickey in 73, and they were so much more jazzier, and they could turn on a dime, with 2 drummers, it takes a little bit longer. So I appreciate what Fish does, and I appreciate what Trey Band does too. My son loves Trey Band, and he's like not the biggest Fish head, but I took him to see Trey, and he's like, "This is me, Dad." And I'm like, "All right, you like the horn?"
You're right. I mean, there's no comparing it. But Simple Twist Up Dave, I'm pretty sure that Fish never played that, and for me, that was the highlight of this album. It was what an unbelievable track.
Yeah, it's a great song. It has a really fast-paced jam. So
really good. And I'm sure you'll agree that Vance Powell, I mean, he took Trey Band and made Trey Band on steroids. I mean, I've had a couple of friends say, well, I mean, he's mixing a live. No.
Well,
mixing a live show.
Let's be honest. He picked the best shit. He had the whole
tour,
100%, right?
100%.
And he had an hour and a half to fill on that CD or whatever it is, and he picked the best stuff. So yes, I give him a lot of credit, but the power is what Trey was doing. That was just freaking Trey all over. But Vance, yes, he's an amazing conduit. I totally agree. But all that power and energy, all you can do is mix knobs at a certain point, right? But what's coming through, if it's shit, it doesn't matter how you mix the knobs, but when it's crazy like this, it was really good. I think it's probably one of the best live Trey Band albums out there. I mean, I love Plasma too, just because that was my art on the album cover, but it was a personal attachment, but still, it's amazing and it made, like you said, it makes you realize how much Trey misses live music. Yeah. He said, and how much we miss it. And I think that's the biggest thing. What are you doing to plug that hole up in your life right now?
That's a real. I mean, I just been staying really active. I mean, all these like album review stuff, and I've been trying to do like online things, and just trying to stay in the like active as much as I can, because then it just kind of takes you away from it. We go for a lot of hikes. What I do with the albums is I'm trying to incorporate hiking and photography and music, obviously, and video. So I'm just trying to do new things. I mean, I've gotten really good with the green screen. I'm trying to collaborate. I don't know if you've heard of the Cohen family jam room. They're Rabbi Matt and his son Aiden. They do a lot of Fish songs.
Oh, I think I've seen those guys. I've seen those guys playing.
Really good. I sat in with them, did some Johnny Cash the other day. I green screened myself in with the washboard, and that was a lot of fun. And I'm just trying to, make friends and collaborate and make the best, I guess, of a really bad situation. It's tough. I mean, my next review that I'm actually working on right now is on the new Toots album. I don't know if you heard that one, but
yes, I have. I interviewed the guy. I interviewed Wayne Jobson, who worked on the album with Toots last Thursday.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen that show, I would check it out. He had some great insight into how and who Toots was, and also what reggae was like in Jamaica. It's the beautiful thing about having a show is being able to reach out and touch a lot of people and give people a little stage. Bacon Man, we're at the end of our time. I think you should lock up with Eggman.
I got the costume upstairs.
Eggman and Bacon Man. Get it going on.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Thank you, dude.
Great to talk to you.
Jack. Take care. Good luck out there. All right. There you go. What a grab bag today. We're all over the map. Thank you to all my guests. I want to thank Josh Monroe, the Ginger. Check his stuff out. Thank my friend, Mr. Doyle Photography. Here, let me throw up the links real quick. Mark Doyle. There it is. Jessica Delfino, the Planet of the Mass song, the artist known as Ginger, and our boy Bacon Man. You can check Bacon Man out. He's on the YouTube, everybody. You can check it out. Tomorrow, we are going to talk to the Wood Brothers. I think one Wood brother. We got Oliver. Oh, why is this banner slow? We have Oliver Wood on the show tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to that. Talking to Wood Brothers. They've been hiding out, but they're getting ready to do a live stream, I believe. We're going to get all those details for you by tomorrow, and I'll be very zoned in. I'll be very locked in. If you missed my shows, go on my YouTube, watch that show with Noel Kassler. If you want to see what it's like when I get into the political realm, over 20,000 views on that interview, which is as many views as I've gotten on the entire 6 months that I've been doing this. Somewhere, who knows? I'm not really counting views. I'm not here for the views. I'm here for you. I'm here for me. I'm here to connect. So if we're connecting, if you're here and I'm here, that's all this is really about. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate your time and energy in the middle of this pandemic. I'm right in the middle of all your dinner times out there on the East Coast. Peace, love, happiness to everyone out there. Big hug to all my guests today. The 4-pack, it was really a great way. I really enjoy dipping in all those different lives and talking to everybody for a little bit and getting it in and moving on. I love the in-depth interviews and I love the short ones too. I mean, it's all part of it. It's all piece of it. So thank you most of all, though, because you guys are the ones that keep me kind of sane. So thanks for tuning in. We will catch you tomorrow with the Wood Brothers. Have a great Monday.